Hi guys, I've got a fun little page in my pocket page notebook today using the high and low kit from Brandy Kincaid and Feed Your Craft. This kit released a couple of days ago, so if you were thinking about grabbing one for yourself, I will leave the link for the shop down below. Now what I've gone ahead and done is used one of the digital stamps to create a cut file using my Silhouette Studio software. These digital stamps you can either purchase as part of the digital kit, or if you purchase the physical kit you get a copy of the digital kit anyway. So that's what I've done here, very handy. And I have cut 2 of those cut files because what I want to do is back them with just a little bit of colored paper. Here we go, and then I'm gonna sandwich them together and pop that into the pocket of my pocket page notebook so that you can see the pretty pattern on both sides. You know, I'm not a super fan of backing cut files, not by any stretch of the imagination. But I did decide to do this one by hand because it was super simple. I'm only going to end up using 2 colors of card, and I'm just using plain cardstock. I haven't got patterned paper. I just have already I've already printed and cut out the digital printables. That's those little plants you can see that I've put onto the page already. So I just picked a couple of different colors of cardstock that I thought would match some of the colors in there. So I've got this pink for the pot, and then I'm going to do the leaves kind of a tealy color. So although there are a few leaves to do, they're all reasonably simple shapes, so I am going to do this by hand. I don't enjoy it though. I don't enjoy this process. I'm in constant awe of people who back those super intricate silhouette cut files. I do not have the patience for this. I hate the cutting out. I also really hate this gluing part too, so none of the backing of cut files is enjoyable for me, but I do love the end result, so it's one of those things that I kind of just put up with. So you can see what I've done here. I literally just put the cut file down on the pattern paper. I traced around the outside edge with my pencil, and then I sort of just eyeballed it and cut inside that pencil line just slightly so that it would be inside the cut file, and then I've just glued that down with my Martha Stewart glue pen, and I'm gonna go ahead and just repeat that for all the other little pieces that I've got to go, and I'm gonna speed up that process because it did take a little bit of time, I will tell you that. I'm cutting all of these leaves as one big backing piece rather than each of these tiny little individual pieces. That would take forever, which was why I decided I would do it by hand, because I figured there were only 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's only like 10 pieces to do. It's not, you know, it didn't take me hours. It took me enough time that I was happy to do it. Otherwise I would have done it with my silhouette probably, because I do find that that's easiest for me. There you go, skipped through that. So much better when you're watching it on a video, isn't it? That's all my little leaves done, and then the reason that I cut 2 of the original cut files is so that I could flip one over, add some glue and stick that down on top of my backed cut file. If you've got anything that has letters or numbers or anything that needs to be read a particular way, you will have to flip your second cut file. I just cut 2 because I've got smooth white cardstock, so it didn't matter which one was like showing, if you know what I mean. Just going to stick those together, and that's what I mean by a cut file sandwich, because I've got a cut file on one side, then the paper, the filler paper on the inside, and then another cut file on the outside, which means it looks good from both sides, which is all I wanted, because I'm going to pop this into the pocket of my pocket page notebook, and it needs to be like tidy on both sides. I didn't want to flip the pocket over and have the messy backing showing. If you're just sticking this onto a layout, that's one step you definitely do not have to worry about, but this was the whole point of this page. I really wanted to be able to hang that pot there, and then pop my selfie photo underneath it, just sort of working out the placement for that. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach this cut file to the pocket just with one tiny little attacher staple at the top. I did leave that little circle part sticking out, and I'm just going to trim that off. That staple is more than enough to hold it in place. The pocket is sort of, it has kind of a staticky cling to it, so that kind of holds it in place anyway. You could have stitched that too, but the staple was definitely the easiest option. The other great thing about it being a clear pocket is I can see where I'm putting my photo, so I'm just being careful about where I'm adding that, and then I'm going to echo that photo onto the left hand side as well, which means when I flip my pocket over, it will be in the right place too. So that's the basics of my page done. I can go ahead and add these beautiful little die cuts now. Like I said, they're from the digital printable sheet that comes with the kit, and I am just super obsessed with these little succulents and plants. They're probably the closest I get to being a plant lady. I'm going to try my hardest this year to have a few more plants, but so far it hasn't been totally successful. It's what this whole page is about, I guess. Growth and not giving up. That's a plant there on the left there that I had to I was going to say repot, but I didn't even have to repot it. I had to replace it because I killed that plant. I killed it really good. I thought it didn't need that much water, and it was so dry. It was actually crispy, so that's the story behind this photo. I was super disappointed that I managed to kill a plant, the first plant I have in this house. But I guess sometimes, you just have to learn from your mistakes, I guess. So I have a new plant now, and I will try really hard not to kill that one. Now I want to stamp the stamp from, this is an actual stamp, not a digital stamp this time. I want to stamp that along the bottom just to ground the little plants that I'm going to stick down, and I was just choosing a grey ink that I thought went the best with the grey on that pot plant digital printable there. I didn't want it to stand out too much. This is kind of like creating a background. I want it to look like there's a lot of plants when I really only have the 6 or so die cuts. So I added in the stamps along the bottom just to kind of fill out that space, make it look like there are a few more plants there than there actually are. And then all I've really got left to do is arrange my paper plants onto the page, which is one of the more fun things about this page. I love these little digitals, they're so cute. You could also hand color in the stamps. I did consider doing that. I worried it might have been a little bit too busy, but if you have a more simple page, you could definitely use some colored pencils or some watercolor and color in all of those little plants. That would be super fun as well. So I've got my little 5 plants down, and I want to add a title. I went through my alpha stash and tried to pick out some alphas that would match the kit, and I did find these really old Color Theory ones in almost the identical pink, so it couldn't have been more perfect. And then I'm using my T-square ruler to try and get this title straight, and I will say it made it a great deal easier than I normally find with titles. I'm going to add 3 lines in here, keep growing forward, and I'm just going to stack them one after the other, which again the T-square rule was super helpful for because I can put them in place and see how much room I'm going to need for each row. So the last thing I have to add to this page is a little bit of journaling, and I was debating about where to put the journaling. I haven't left myself a whole lot of room, so I decided to try to sort of hide it under the pot plant above my photo here. I'm going to use my T-square ruler again to draw some lines just with some pencil there to add my journaling, and that way I can sort of see whether it's going to hide under the pot plant, and it It totally does, which is good. I don't have a whole lot to add. It's just a couple of lines. It's almost like a note to self, I guess. But I'm adding that in a grey pen so that it doesn't take up too much attention, and that if any of it does peek out from behind the pot plant, then it doesn't draw too much attention to itself. I'm going to erase those pencil marks, and then that is this page all done. This kit is totally cute, so like I said, I will leave the link for you down below in the description box. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave me any questions or comments that you've got down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if you want to keep watching, there's a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye guys!